Information is power, and we're bringing it to you with the BGA's nonpartisan podcast, Ready, Set, Gov, tackling the most important challenges in Illinois. Find it on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is episode 48 of Alternative Fact Chicago. Felt like we were just back here. It's probably because we were. I've seen you a lot, B, but I'm not complaining.
You better not.
Never that.
You
But it's
should feel
Alternative
lucky.
Fact Chicago, episode 48. This is B Hun with B Chan. How you doing today?
I'm doing good today. It's beautiful outside. I've been seeing you for a million hours this week, so nothing could get better.
Absolutely. It's always a good time when you get to hang with me, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
There we go. It's been a crazy week that we're going to dive all into it because I'm sure the fans want to know what's going on with B Hun and B Chan. It's been a busy week, going to be a busy weekend. So I think I should remind the people where I'm going to be at this weekend, shouldn't I?
I think you should. I'm sure they want to know where they can find you in your tank top.
Gotta rock it. Hey, the tank top has been a hit. The t-shirts have been a hit. So don't hate.
I'm not hating. I am the one who designed them, so I appreciate it.
You assigned them a Jace. Like you kind of designed them, but your friend did, right?
No, I told her exactly what I wanted. Don't try to take credit away from me. She printed them for me, but I said, this is what I want. This is my vision.
And your vision came to light and it came out awesome. So I do give you props for that.
Thank you.
There we go. So Spring Awakenings this weekend. So this will be the next time you'll see me in my amazing tank top. Hopefully the weather will stay warm. I swear the weather's bipolar in Chicago. Like it's gone from like 85 this weekend to 71 to no rain to rain to gonna be 100. I don't get it. Like why does the weather in Chicago always do that?
Yeah, well, you just gotta like relax and not worry about it.
Well, because you were talking about earlier about not being able to wear a tank top, and when it's not as warm, I was like, you can always find a time to wear a tank top at a festival.
You will always find time. I guess we should tell them we recorded last night with the D and Davis show, and it was like 50 degrees by the lake, and here comes B in his tank top and his jacket.
Yeah, I had the jacket over it, so I wasn't cold.
I know you were good,
but it was good because we got to promote what we got going on, right?
I agree. 100%.
There we go. So back to my point, this weekend, of course, is Spring Awakening, the 2018 installment. It's probably one of my second to third favorite weekends of all of summer in Chicago. Great time, good vibes, a lot of good people in the city. The biggest, EDM DJs are in the world. It's always the who's who of the biggest DJs, always in Chicago for this. I do miss when Spring Awakening was at Soldier Field many years ago. Everyone I've talked to would agree. But even now, still a great festival. It's sold out in regards to 3-day VIP passes, 3-day GA passes. So you can definitely still get single day tickets as well. Tiesto's going to be there. Hardwell, Afrojack, Cascade, Chicago's own Cascade will be there. Deadmau5 is going to be there. Nicky Romero, Carnage, Flux Pavilion, Zed's Dead. I mean, the list goes on and on. Pretty much, like I said, every big DJ that you can ever find that likes that type of music will be there. So Alternative Fact Chicago will be in the house. I am proud to announce that Chicago legend DJ group, Chicago Legend Staple. They've had parties every single Monday that if you lived in Chicago for a long time, you'll definitely know what it is. But we are going to have an interview with Porn and Chicken. That is confirmed. It's going to be Saturday. I'm going to be doing it. So we'll definitely have it recorded and posted on the audio on iTunes and everywhere you can hear it sometime next week. I will be announcing one more artist interview as well for Sunday that I'm recording as well. So figure since we're in Chicago, got to keep it in the family. Chicken's a great Chicago name, Chicago staple. So glad to do that. So if you see me on the tank top this weekend, anywhere, we'll be all over the fest all weekend. It's going to be a great time. So hopefully we'll get to see you at Spring Awakening. And that's that.
That's awesome. I know you're going to have a great time. I'm excited for your interview.
There we go. You got to get you to one. I know EDM, that house music scene is not your thing, but I think you'll like the type of environment. It's awesome.
I might have. I said Friday is Steve Aoki. He's the guy I would have seen, and you and your friends said like nobody wants to see, or everybody's already seen him before. Whatever you said, but I have not yet. I'm like a really basic like EDM music fan. Like I like really more mainstream EDM, like Steve Aoki, whatever. So
yeah, that's what
I'm
it is,
like the tip of the iceberg. So whatever, but I know you'll have a great time. So
that's the type of music that it is at this type of event, Spring Awakening. Not like Movement or Trade. That's more like techno, deep house. This is more like the mainstream EDM. I like EDM with words, like when it's just the same the sound for hours past. Like it's not for me, but
no,
this type of EDM I can do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That I always say that. Like I can't do things without the words. What are we doing? Yeah, so that's awesome. That's this weekend coming up. But I want to talk about this weekend we just had, B.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so as you heard us talk about for a few weeks leading up to it, Bihan and I were at WingOut Chicago in Old Town. We had an amazing time. If you've never had a chance to check it out, you need to. Those guys at Green Curtain Events put on such a party. They have more festivals coming up this summertime, so we are definitely going to keep you posted on what they're doing, because I am telling you, I have not been to a food festival that was that much fun in a really long time. Huge shout out to Chris Harton from Green Curtain, who had us there as judges for the wings. We went. The music was incredible. We saw a couple different reggae bands that were awesome. The Goose Island beer and the Absolute Lemonade and margaritas were awesome. But most importantly, the wings were fantastic. Wouldn't you agree?
I think most of them were fantastic. Most of them, I do use that cautionary, but a majority of them were definitely very good. So I would agree with that.
And the only reason Bihan thinks most of them were was he wasn't quite tough enough to handle the really spicy ones, right?
No one was tough enough to handle this. So don't just put this on me. I seen the social media game and they're acting like I couldn't hang. Let it be known that about 99% of the people that were there could not hang for that. I think it was one of the B-Dubs wings or something like that.
Yeah, it was. So we were judging on three different categories. We were judging on the best overall wing, the best kick, and the most original. We tried 21 different wings. It was a lot of wings.
Tons.
And I can't even remember all of them. And there were some that were so good. There were some that were trying so hard to be different. They might not have been my top pick for a general wing, but all of them were good. The vendors did an awesome job. There were 16 different vendors there. They did an awesome job. We know the judges' pick for best overall wing ended up being 25 degrees, and the people's pick for best overall wing was the Vig. So if you're in the city, check those places out. You can hop on to the WingOut page and still see who was there and check those places out too. But anyway, we had an awesome time. So
Yeah,
we're really thankful.
sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off, B.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing time. The weather was good. Drinks were flowing. It was busy, and I'll tell Chris. I'll tell him later. But if he's listening to this episode, they need more space for that. I mean, they had that place filled to the brim. It was sold out both days. I think they could probably take on more space, which is great for them, and they can expand that. But every single year, I've been there a couple times. Always a good turnout, good vibes. Food was good, like I said. The other judges were there as well too. They were cool, and it was funny when they ate the hot wing, the B-Dubs one. They ate multiple bites, and a lot of times people want to be Billy badasses and think, oh, it's not that bad. So they kept eating the wing. Didn't hit them for about a minute, and then they died just as well. So you're not going to put this all on me that I was struggling. The funny part, we got it on video, too. So I needed a timeout. It ruined my day. Like, I was having a great day until that point, but it ruined the next 10 minutes. And they didn't have milk. Had to drink water. And I told my mom after, she was like, "You're not supposed to drink water after eating something like that." Because no wonder my mouth was only getting hotter. Like, it was
It
ridiculous.
just spreads it.
Terrible
It
idea.
was really hot. It was really hot. And I just had to give you a hard time because I will save that video forever. Because so many people were reaching out to us like, who won the competition? Who won the competition? So we did not eat more than our 21 because that was enough wings. So that was a fun time. But I did want to say, Chris better be listening, but I did want to say what I did think was awesome. It was packed, but it wasn't overcrowded. Like, it was packed, it was sold out, it was full, but they didn't sell so many tickets that when you were there, you were uncomfortable. So that was really cool too. So
great job by Chris. Great job by Green Curtain Events, Nick Pobutsky, all the guys that I saw there. I love those guys. I've known them for many, many years. Great doing work with them. I know they're going to have another one coming up, I think, later this summer. I know they're expanding to the Detroit area this summer as well, too. So they got a lot of good things going on. So make sure you check out Green Curtain Events, and you'll definitely see us with them here very, very soon.
Yeah, going to be good. All right. So that was our weekend. That was our Sunday. We were together all day. And then yesterday we were together all day. Why don't you tell everybody what we were doing yesterday?
And now I'm talking to you now. I'm like, I need a break.
I need a break too.
Kidding. So yesterday, though, amazing time. We did make our return to the D&D Davis show. They did our live podcast recently as well. And then I know this past year, my previous co-host, Bobby, and I, we did their Flip podcast. We've also done their radio show, the D&D Davis show that they do on Saturdays as well, too. So know these guys for a while. Great, great guys to know. They're just funny, hilarious. Their chemistry is great, and they just make you feel like down to earth, like you're just having a conversation with one of the guys. So we did post. They did post the episode. We made our return to the Flip podcast. It was awesome. We talked about pretty much any and everything in pop culture. I'm sorry, similar to what we do here on this as well. So make sure you check it out. D and David Show. You can search it on iTunes on the Flip or the Flip podcast. You can definitely find it. It's almost like 2 hours long. So you just see us in a little bit of a different type of element of who we are, which is always good to see us, not having us control the conversation, just have conversations with others. So I love their show. Did a great job. Hilarious takes from all four of us, and even Tony as well too. So shouts out to all those guys. But what's your thoughts on the podcast last night?
Oh, I had so much fun. The live show was the first time at our live show that I met them, and I had listened to their show before. And so I had an idea what they were like because I had listened to them, but I had not met them before, and they were awesome at our live show, and this was even more fun. Their studio was incredible, first of all. They're big time. So we were in their studio, and it was like amazing and fun. And then, yeah, we just had a great time. We laughed. B said as we were like done, he was like, they're going to have to edit you out because all you did was laugh the whole time. And it's going to be an hour of you laughing. And it was
You
true.
laughed
And
the
I said
entire,
everything to
not
them.
even an hour. You laughed for the entire 2 hours.
Well, I was having a good time. Okay.
I was too. They're funny guys.
They are funny, and they have awesome chemistry. Like we think we have pretty good chemistry, but they're just like kicking back and it just flows. So it was an awesome time. I want to thank them again for having us. Yeah, it was really
And the
fun.
funny
So.
thing is that we were telling the story of how we met recently and joined on the show. They assume, like most people do, that we've known each other for years, and just the fact that we don't know each other that long and how we came together is an insane story. I think it makes the whole presentation just that much more crazy, and they were taken back by it too.
Yeah, it is. And then that's when Ken said, "No wonder you didn't take her to Detroit. You don't even know her."
Yes
That
and
was
no,
funny.
but
Yes,
kinda.
I know. That's not the reason. But yeah, so it was funny. It was funny to kind of share that and to surprise people like that. I like that. So yeah, It was a
Awesome.
good time. So thanks, guys. Awesome job. And Diedrich, who got caught everything on video, they put it up on Facebook Live. It was just a great time. They are fantastic hosts, and their show's awesome. So as B said, check it out. You definitely will enjoy it. They're professionals for sure.
Quick announcement: I'm actually tomorrow going to be on the BBM podcast doing an interview. I think it's in regards to Father's Day coming up, since I am a father myself. So that'll get posted soon. Get more details later. That's all I'll say for now. But yeah, Alternative Fact Chicago is literally all over the place, and it's crazy to see. Like, we're just so busy now, but I really want to thank every single person who's involved in this, everyone that supports us, gives us opportunities. We definitely do this for Chicago, and we would not be here without the fans.
Absolutely. B, before we move on to my favorite part, the fan of the week, should we tell them about our social media?
Let's do it. So mine is Behind 1984. Your kid name is
Starbright312 on Twitter and Instagram.
There we go. Our Facebook is Alternative Fact Chicago, same as Instagram, Alternative Fact Chicago. Always email us with questions, sponsorship ideas, alternativefactchicago@gmail.com. As well, we're on YouTube as well. You can always find our show on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes. Please leave a review and subscribe. The reviews are going up daily and weekly. We do catch them. We always appreciate them. They do not go unnoticed. So we're glad that everyone likes our show, and we need everyone to know it. So please keep spreading the word. And that's that.
That's that. Let's get on to fan of the week. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Our fan of this week, and every week, but our fan this week of the week, a fan of the week, is Will, is Will, our boy Will. His Twitter's like, yeah, boy Will, but it's our guy Will. His Twitter handle is @walking, WALKING_thunder, THUNDER. And we love Will. I personally love Will because I had done the show a couple times. And all of a sudden, Will tweets at Behan and he was like, is this girl permanent? Because if not, she should be. And I was like, hold on. Like, we're friends now. No, but he's an awesome, funny guy. So that was kind of the start of it. He is a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I found out. So that's kind of a problem, but I put it to the side because he is an awesome fan of the show. We like talking to him. And then last week he was cracking us up because when Behan and I were talking about the Pusha T album, and Behan was like, you mean you hate Kanye so much you won't listen to Pusha T? And I was like, yep. And then Will sent us a tweet with a GIF about it, and it was just funny. So As always, we love when our listeners give us feedback on the episodes or let us know what they thought about certain parts or things that made them laugh or things they disagreed with. So shout out to Will, our fan of the week, for always engaging us, for listening and letting us know what he likes and doesn't like. Thank you for listening, Will.
I like that. I appreciate his honest takes, no matter what. Like you mentioned, whether it's positive or negative, he's gonna let you hear it, and we like to hear that because we know everyone's not gonna agree with us at all times, and we don't want that. So I appreciate that Will is honest. So what up, Will? Thanks, and congrats on being fan of the week.
That's right. Someday we'll get you a T-shirt. Okay, so should we get into some topics?
Let's do it.
Okay, so as we've heard a lot about already, the 45th president of the United States made waves when he disinvited the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, what up, Will, from the White House for their visit for winning the Super Bowl. What do you think about this, B?
Man, so I'm not surprised that Donald Trump did this. He did this, and let's just be honest, cut and dry. It would have been considered an embarrassment that only 10 members of the Philadelphia Eagles organization went to the White House. The crazy part is no Philadelphia Eagles the entire last season decided to kneel. So I don't know where this came from. This is just a simple matter of Donald Trump didn't want to go through the embarrassment that no player, majority of the players did not want to go and sit with him, which, here near and there, I don't blame them. So this is just a measure of saying, hey, well, we have an issue. You guys have an issue with the national anthem. So for that reason, you're not invited. Whatever, buddy. I think it was a little bit bogus that Philadelphia Eagles head coach Doug Peterson, he put out in a press conference today that he had been looking forward to visiting the White House. So it seemed like he was on board with it. Majority of his team was not. He was going to go there as well. And he just said, obviously, I understand that, we made it to the Super Bowl. It's taken us a long time to get there, and I want us to enjoy it and go through the process. Yeah, but no, buddy. I mean, you just got to stand on what's right and what's wrong. So I think it was a little bogus that you went around your team to say that, hey, I wanted to be there and I was going to go there regardless. I think he maybe should have left that alone. But either way, I think Donald Trump, he's just using the NFL once again to promote his agenda and keep him in the storyline any way, shape, or form. And this is just what he's done again. So I'm not surprised by it, but I'm glad that the Eagles players stood up and said they're not going to go because I wouldn't want to go either.
I agree with you on that. I certainly wouldn't go. What I do disagree with you about, though, is the Doug Peterson thing, because the same way the protest or not the protest was an individual choice, and you can't just, you don't know, as a coach in the NFL, your dream is to win the Super Bowl, and going to the White House might have meant more to him about going to the White House than it was about meeting President Trump. So with that in mind, I don't fault the man to say, hey, I was looking forward to going. That might have been something that was always part of the goal. And in the past, that's been a huge honor in part of winning the Super Bowl is to go to the White House, meet the president, what have you. So I don't think we should knock him if he was going to go because, he wasn't coming out saying, I love Trump. And even that, his opinion. But in this case, I don't think we should knock him for wanting to go celebrate in that way. As I said, I understand the players who weren't going to go, and I certainly wouldn't have gone. But let's leave Doug Peterson alone. And I'm not going to defend the Eagles much longer, but I have to.
I'm like, wait a minute, you're taking his
really
side?
Hard for me. No, I'm not taking his side. What I'm saying is I don't think it's right for us to then, if we want to say you have a right to go or not to go, it's not right for us to say, well, we're going to judge you harshly if you choose to go. That's not right for us.
Yeah, I don't judge him for that if that's the reason for him doing it. If he's going because he's in support of like Donald Trump and what he's doing, then we have a problem. I will say he did never mention or said that that's his angle. He did mention, he said that, it's been a long process and we want the team to be able to go out and, and enjoy that experience. So I get that point, but in the same sense, it's the notion around it. Like you're basically going to shake his hand and do the bells and whistles of the White House with Trump as your face. Does your family and people that support you, are you going to want them to have that everlasting picture of you going forward? You know what I mean? It's just the optics of it.
I do understand what you're saying. And I think there's two things to think about with this. He is a coach who is very well respected by his players who feel very strongly about this issue. So first of all, I don't think it's an issue that he hasn't been supportive in what they wanted to do. So that's okay. Second of all, I actually wonder, now that you say this and I kind of thought about it, I wonder how much I wouldn't have come out and said that too. Like, well, man, it's a shame you won't let us come because we were really looking forward to this honor and kind of
Exactly.
putting it back on like, hey, you took this away from us. We earned this. How dare you? So maybe it was a little trolling job by Doug Peterson too. I don't know, but I don't think, that should be our overall issue. But I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like, the guy who asks the girl out and she says no. And then he says, well, I didn't want to go with you anyway. Like, it's the same childish thing. No one should be surprised by now.
Absolutely.
So
what they
whatever.
did do, didn't they have like the Donald Trump hosted like a celebration of America event
Yeah.
by just having like different people come and probably play the national anthem. That's what he did instead. The funny part is, if you saw the clip, that there was a guy, a white man who still kneeled for it. So I thought that was awesome. Definitely a troll job. It definitely got a reaction there. So it just goes to show, no matter what, someone's going to protest and someone's going to make, an actual scene out of this situation. It's really pretty much may not go away for a while.
No, and it just they continue to add fuel to it. The people who are against the protest continue to bring it on. So it's ridiculous. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more in the future, but stupid Trump as usual.
Interesting. Of course, none of the NBA teams are going to go. Golden State, Cleveland, they both admitted that, they don't want an invitation as well. It's funny the difference where NFL to NBA, absolutely they don't want to go. Whereas hockey and, Houston Astros of Major League Baseball, they went. So it's just interesting to see the dynamic and the difference of, some teams in sports may go where some may not. Obviously, we know the difference why, because, most are predominantly black in the NFL, NBA, but it's just different to see that.
It is different, and I think that's interesting. It just in the sense that it would make sense to you why those people in the NFL, the players in the NFL and the NBA who are people of color would choose not to. But I do find it interesting then that people maybe in baseball who are white, because I, again, newsflash, am white, and I still feel strongly about this and wouldn't, and I know many white people who wouldn't. So that is interesting, but who knows? I don't know.
So I think that's enough talking about Philadelphia Eagles for a long time on this podcast. Do you agree?
Agreed.
All right. So let's pay some bills and move on. This part of the episode is sponsored by the Wrigley Report. Cubs fans, if you're looking for the latest renovations, updates, team news, player analysis, and overall Cub news, look no further than Wrigley Report, your number one source for all Chicago Cub news. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on their handle at Wrigley Report. And side note, my Detroit Tigers, not that you care, are actually doing pretty decent this year in the AL Central. So they may sneak around. I didn't think we had a chance, but the Tigers are doing okay. So I'm actually pretty excited about baseball this summer in Detroit.
I'm only focused on our preseason predictions because I have to be right. So
yeah, I think I had, Yankees and Cubs, right?
You did.
And who do you have again?
The Red Sox and Cubs.
There we go. So actually, we're on pace. It could possibly happen. So we'll be on the lookout for that.
That's right.
So I know this next section you pretty much want to skip over, but we can't. So we have to, for a minute, at least address the Kanye West album. Keep in mind that there was absolutely zero chance that B-Chan was going to listen to this. Did you hold firm in this past week?
Are you really asking me, B?
Did you even listen to like a snippet of any one song?
I did not listen to anything. I did not read anything about it. I don't care.
The album was only 7 songs. It was probably less than 20 minutes. You could have taken a shower in that amount of time.
Yeah, I'd rather just drown my face in water. No, I didn't listen. I'm not going to listen, and I'm not going to give him any of my energy.
Well, my take on the album is it's interesting to note that after all, the slavery talk and his TMZ appearance, and he thought he just made too many waves, he originally had his first album done. I'm not sure if it was called Yay or not. He scrapped the entire album. So this album that he put together was either old songs that he had made previously or just songs that, he came up with in the past week or two. I will say, in that short amount of time, for 7 songs, it's fire. I'm not going to lie. It was great. Kanye West is a G when it comes to production, when it comes to the music. The only downside, he didn't really leave me feeling like it was just an amazing album, like it wasn't anything forward thinking in regards to that, because I think he scrapped a lot of what he had planned because he didn't want to make waves. So I think we did instead, he just made some hot songs. Like my favorite song is Yikes, number 2. Had a couple weird vibes. He talked about his daughter a lot in one of the songs. The intro, I thought about Killing You, was a little bit creepy, a little bit odd, but he did come around at the end. I did like the song with Kid Cudi, Ghost Town. I like Violent Crimes. I think overall, for this short amount of time, it was very, very good. I'll give it a solid A minus to B plus. Not a classic by any means. I've definitely heard better Kanye albums, but it did leave me wanting more from Kanye West. So I'll leave it at that. I was impressed, and I think Kanye's still here to stay.
Well, I have two things I do want to mention in regards to the Kanye West album. One, is it accurate that he did leave Drake off of writing credit off of one of the songs?
It was called Yikes, yeah, the chorus for it, which makes sense because that's probably the best song in the entire album. And to find out Drake was part of it, I was like, man, I'm not surprised at all.
And they forgot to give him credit. So that's interesting. I did air quotes with my forgot. The other thing is that I know is causing a bit of a stir is going back just a couple months ago when Kim Kardashian tweeting out that stop talking about mental illness so lightly and suggesting that Kanye has it. And then he comes out and says, I'm bipolar and it's my superpower. So I thought that was interesting as well.
But we knew Kanye was crazy. We've known Kanye was bipolar since.
But there's a difference between crazy and talking. Are we throwing around the word crazy, or are we talking about specific mental illness? And that was the thing when people were talking about Kanye and the mental illness. They weren't saying Kanye's crazy. They were saying this person has mental illness. And then here comes Kim, who's like, you need to stop throwing that word around, blah, blah, blah. Yet now here comes out Kanye because it's going to be part of his whole persona that he wants now. And to say, well, I have a mental illness, I'm bipolar, which certainly no one needs to be ashamed of. And that's great to take any stigma out of it if you can. But with that said, she looks like an idiot. That's all.
The funny part, though, are all the fake woke people. And I was in Twitter battles this past week about, are you going to listen to the album or are you not going to listen to the album? I know deep down there were a lot of true Kanye fans that wanted to press play. They were this close to pressing play, and the funny part is the super woke types, like they just make me laugh. Like they get mad about something. Not you, so don't think I'm talking about you because you always think I'm talking about you when I make a comment on Twitter. But
because you are always talking about me.
The other super woke people who are saying they don't want to listen, is Kanye West canceled? But the fact that all the predictions are saying he's close to selling almost 200,000 the first week between streams and physical sales leads me to believe that those super woke people are definitely still listening. Kanye West is not canceled. I know there's people listening to this that said they didn't listen, that probably want to listen or secretly did. I know, fans, you did listen to Kanye West because I know you still appreciate his music.
No, the album sales are up because he has all the Make America Great Again fans.
I was thinking about that too.
Big ups to you, Kanye. Now you got the white population. I'm not saying anymore. Make America Great is listening to Kanye.
I was like, what are you saying there?
Yeah, I'm just biting my tongue. Make America Great helped him get to #1, so he should be proud of himself.
Hey, I know a lot of my homies, Steve, Bobby, Gray, they were all Team MAGA this past weekend because of the album, so hey.
That's disgusting.
Hey, you got to be trolled sometimes, right?
It's disgusting. Okay, so what else do you want to talk about Kanye?
So in regards to that, I think we should just kind of spin that briefly, and I'm sick of talking about rap beef, so quickly we're going to brush over this one. But in regards to the whole Drake, Pusha T thing, it's been about over a week or so since we've heard anything from both. Did Drake lose the rap beef? Did he take an L, or what's going on with Drake right now?
All I have to say is I feel like, so we recorded last Wednesday, which was the morning or the day after Pusha's disc came out, Tuesday night. This has been like the longest week ever. Like the fact that was only a week ago was crazy because it came on. We're like, we got to talk about this. Yeah, I think at this point, if you're talking in terms of the beef between them, of course, Drake lost. He hasn't responded. He probably, there's not much he could have said. Maybe there is. As we know, Jay Prince has said that he had lots to say, but it would have killed Kanye's career. So maybe he did have things to say. Who knows? But yeah, at this point, if you want to look at it and say someone won and someone didn't, I think, of course, Drake lost.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just crazy that Jay Prince had to step into it. Had to have been something that he was going to say that it was going to ruin Push's career, Kanye's career, or if you win at Kanye could come back, that would ruin Drake's career, or something was going on behind the scenes to where they realized that Drake's brand, which is bigger than any of this, is which I had said too, that he just needs to quit. He needs to just let it go, act like it never happened, and just move on. What will be the bogus thing, which I know is going to happen, they're both still going to throw subs, shots at each other for pretty much the rest of their career. Like, if they can't keep going in a rap beef right now, they should just squash it and move on and just live life, do your rap song, talk about other people. But if this keeps going back and forth within jabs, they might have just continued the entire beef to begin with. So it's cool that they stopped it. Think it was smart for Drake to do. But unfortunately, Drake did take it up. But Drake's won so much in the past 10 years. Who the hell cares? Like, Drake can take one loss. He'll be okay. He'll survive. And he'll keep pushing. And he's still going to sell a lot of records on his next album.
He's going to sell a lot of records. And we talked about this in Dan Davis. His fans, and then even people who wouldn't be the Drake stans, but a step back from that, the people who listen to his music, they don't care. They don't care that he's not winning this beef with Pusha. They don't care. They want to listen to his music. They want to dance. They want to roll their windows down and turn on Nice for What. Like, that's what they're doing. And we were talking about how he created his own lane. And I think that's what a lot of people maybe really deep entrenched in the hip hop world don't understand is, you know, he has 13-year-old girls listening to him, and he has soccer moms listening to him, and and these people don't care about his rap beef. They don't know who Pusha T. They don't know who Pusha T is. And I was saying this to Bihan when we were talking about doing it last week. I said, I promise you, not one of my friends knows who Pusha T is. Like, I promise you. And I guarantee you all of them buy Drake music, right? So there is certainly a group. Now, if you want to say Drake loses credibility, absolutely. If you want to say he doesn't have the respect of a lot of people in hip hop, absolutely. But if you're just talking about his ability to continue to sell albums and be a hip hop / pop superstar,
Right.
This does not change any of that for him.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're gonna move on from it, honestly, and I hope this is over. Like I said, if they're gonna keep doing the jabs, just save it. But I'm ready for all rap beefs to be over, and let's just get back to good music.
Let's do it. Okay, so let's move on to something kind of that I think is funny.
This was ridiculous, but it's funny.
It was ridiculous. It was just yesterday. We found out that the Miss America pageant is no longer going to have a swimsuit competition. And in addition to that, they are no longer going to judge the contestants on their physical appearance. What is going on? Why did they do this? And if we're not judging them on their physical appearance, what are we really going to be judging them on?
So I don't really, like I said, I know we mentioned this last night. I don't really watch Miss America because I know what all American girls look like, but I will watch Miss Universe. Like, that's just one that I always watch. But if they're not going to have a swimsuit competition or even any type of physical appearance competition, what are we doing here? Like, what's the whole point of this? Like, what are they going to have? Obviously, they have skills competitions. They play the piano. They dance. But are we going to be judging them on their smarts or what's going on? I'm just really confused right now.
I am too. I think it's ridiculous. And as funny as it is to kind of make this comparison, I feel like it fits perfectly a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the NFL changing all the rules for kickoffs and we said, then you might as well do away with them. It's the same thing. Like, if this is what you're doing here, then you might as well get rid of this pageant because, yeah, it just sounds silly. So maybe it's a step towards getting rid of it. I don't know, but I don't think anyone will be interested any longer when you blatantly come out and say it's no longer about their physical appearance, because then I'm not sure.
Do you think this has anything to do with the whole Me Too movement and Women Power 2018 or what's really going on with that?
I think we have to be careful every time we talk about maybe women empowerment and not objectifying women to kind of lump it with the Me Too. I think we have to be careful. I don't think it has anything to do with the Me Too movement because these women are all willing participants in this. These are women who have probably been competing in pageants their whole life. So I don't think it has anything to do specifically to a Me Too movement. And I don't think it has anything to do with the women who are participating because of their choice. I do think it has to do with more of consumers saying that they're not interested in women that they feel like are being objectified. So there may be less of an audience. So you, for example, you're a heterosexual male and you're not watching. Okay. So that goes out the window if you're talking about trying to get that group. So if you have young men who aren't interested, and then you have young women who might say, this is objectifying women, this is stupid, this. Okay, so they're not interested. Who's really your target audience? I don't know who Miss America's target audience really is anymore. So I think that's what's happened, where maybe 20 years ago, women would have watched because they want to be beauty queens too. And there was way more interest in that. And now today, women say, I want to be smart and I want to be this, that sort of thing. So I do think it definitely has to do with the progression of women saying we
Right.
are more than pretty faces and nice bodies. And really, though, more than that is that a shrinking audience, I think, because of that.
But that too, but I feel like wouldn't these women, like, they probably want that aspect of it. Like, they want to be judged on their looks and appearance. Like, that's a big part of what the
They do.
competition is.
Yeah, that's why I don't think these women who are participating, they don't have an issue with this. And I said this last night. Had I all my life been training to be Miss America, I've been in the gym and I've been having procedures done or whatever they're doing to make their body and their face look more beautiful. If I had been working all my life to reach that, and now today you're telling me that you're not judging me on my physical appearance anymore, I would be upset because that's what I have been working towards. So I don't think it's the contestants. I do think, like I said, possibly they're trying to do an image overhaul, which makes me think that maybe there is, not much of an audience for it. That's just my guess.
That's a great thought. So, like, and this brings back to the point now. So obviously, Miss America is going to change their rules. What about the other countries? Like, they're not going to change their rules. So when we get to the Miss Universe, is it going to be back to being judged on appearance, where it wasn't for just Miss America, or a lot of great areas? I don't think they've thought this one through, and I feel
No.
like sometime soon, even if not this year, it's going to get back to its old format very quickly.
Well, and especially the fact that they went on Good Morning America to make this announcement, it screams a PR move to me. So I agree. Who knows what it is? But basically, I don't think Miss America is relevant or has been relevant for some time. So I don't think anybody cares that much.
So fans, when you live tweet with us, live text message with us, live Facebook it with us when you're listening back to the episode, because a lot of you do it, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's awesome that you do that. So please keep doing it. Let us know what you think of this Miss America pageant, because I'm open to ideas. We don't know what the hell is going on, but I think it's just a crazy, crazy story that I think still going to have more legs.
I think so too. All right. Well, that is enough talking about America. Let's focus in on Chicago. What do you think?
Our city, man. What's up, Chicago? Let's do it.
Okay, since we're back home now, we can officially talk about it and not the other places. This is a really bittersweet story, I guess. This past Saturday, which June 2nd, there was the 4th annual Orange Day Peace Party. It was in honor of Hadia Pendleton. It was held at Hadia Pendleton Park. She is a young lady who was a victim to gun violence, and it was done to honor all teens who had been lost to gun violence. So it was a nice day that they had out. Everyone was wearing orange because orange is the gun violence awareness color. So they were all out kind of celebrating and honoring those that they had lost. It was free. They had food, DJs, face painting, all kinds of things. It was sponsored by PLS, Mariano's, and the Hadia Pendleton Park Advisory Council. And so, yeah, it was just a nice story. We know some of the people over at Good Kids Mad City, and they were there as well. And they were advocating for a bill that they're trying to get passed through Congress called the Hadia Pendleton HR 810 law, which is trying to stop interstate trafficking. So they were there representing and kind of speaking about what they're trying to do, and just a lot of people out there, trying to celebrate the lives that have been lost and make changes so that it doesn't continue to happen. So
Good stuff. Shouts out Good Kids Mad City. Definitely want to do some work with them very soon. And I wish we could have worked in town to actually go to an event like this, because I think these events are cool. It's good to get the city together to flip a negative into a positive. These guys at Good Kid Mad City, they do this quite a bit. So if you are not up on them, their story and what they do for the city, it's a little bit different than what normally goes on, the negative things that you do hear. These guys are definitely trying to create a positive message. So please do what you can to check them out and get more involved.
fantastic.
Next. This one is pretty interesting, and I'm putting on my conspiracy theory bee hunt hat like I always do once per episode, and this is it. So Loyola men's basketball coach Porter Moser, obviously, with Loyola this year, they went to the Final Four. Their first Final Four appearance is 1963. Great season. Amazing story for the city of Chicago. Of course, they make the Final Four, and the next thing you know, their huge $1.5 million home in Willamette goes up for pre-sale. Not full sale, but pre-sale. So the home was built in 2011. It's listed as a pocket listing right now, which means it's being prepared to be shown in the next few weeks. Why the hell are you showing your house now, buddy? Like, are you really like me with my conspiracy theory hat? Does this mean that he may be getting another job elsewhere now that he's taken Lil to the Final Four and the big bucks are coming? What do you think?
I think so. I think that's a logical conclusion, but I think if it's something that he doesn't already have, then he wouldn't be listing his house or pre-listing his house knowing that it will get out. So I would imagine it's either a done deal or your conspiracy theory hat is leading you astray and really maybe the man's just moving. So
Yeah.
hard to say, but it seems to me if he was trying to keep it low key, listing his house wouldn't be what he did, but you never know. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe like I said, I totally be making that up. It could just be, maybe they're upgrading to a bigger house. Maybe he's got more money, or he got a big bonus for making the Final Four. And maybe they just want to upgrade. So I definitely could be trolling, but a lot of times in these situations where there's smoke, there's fire, and it may not be right away. But in the next year, he's going to be having a lot of bigger schools come calling from what he did. And if he gets an upgrade in money, a contract he can't refuse, he's out of there. And Loyola fans need to prepare for that now.
That's right. Okay. Well, I will prepare. So we now know that in 2020, Wrigley Field is going to host a Northwestern Wisconsin football game. Bihan, do you think that, first of all, do you think that that's a good idea? Is that something that excites you? Second of all, do you think that that means a bowl game is next?
Wisconsin and Northwestern at Wrigley Field is cool. I've never seen a football game there, so I definitely think that's a cool addition. And why not? It's a good story. I live close by there, so maybe. But having a bowl game at Wrigley Field, is that something that I would want to see? Absolutely not. And the reason why is because you know how cold it's going to be. Say if they have a bowl game in December, even if it's like early January, you know how cold it is in December and early January in Chicago. You've lived here for a while, right?
For my whole life.
How the hell are you going to be playing football or would want to play football or be at a bowl game at that time of year? So when you think of bowl games, most bowl games are in a warm climate, Texas, Florida, Hawaii, California, a warmer markets where players want to go and play. Not in all cases, like sometimes they are in Detroit and this and that and the other, but a lot of those games are played in dome fields, so where you can always be inside because it's going to be cold. When you're at Wrigley Field in December, the elements just normally don't match up, and if I'm a fan, I have no qualms or would want to ever come to Wrigley Field for a bowl game in December or January. So cool concept, worst time of year, I'm going to say no.
Well, and I have to be honest with you. I don't want to go to a bowl game there. I don't even want to go to the football game there. Listen, there are enough amazing football fields around this country. Why are you taking Wrigley Field and going to make it the field for your game? It's gimmicky. I don't like it. I don't like it for the game. I don't like it for a bowl game. To me, like I said, there's plenty of amazing, historic, awesome places that you can play. The idea of taking Wrigley and then turning it into a football field just seems silly to me.
Yeah, I think it's just something that they've done before. I mean, they have football games at other baseball stadiums from time to time. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but they played football at Yankee Stadium before. So these are
I think
things
that's
that
silly also.
Yeah, they do it from time to time. I think for a college football game, it's cool, but to do a bowl game there for that time of year, absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's tell them not to do it.
I'll try.
Okay.
Hopefully they listen to the episode.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll have to get somebody on the phone.
There we go.
So just a quick one here. Regal Cinemas just announced that they will be offering $1 movies all summer long. There are some Regal Cinemas in the city and suburbs, so you can check them out. Look up the nearest location and look for movies and showtimes, but they will be offering $1 Summer Movie Express tickets for Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the summer. I don't think it's new movies. There was a listing of the different movies they'll be showing, but who cares? It's $1. So if you have kids or little people or even yourself and you're not a kid.
Did you say little people?
Well, like a kid.
What?
Like a kid.
Let's pause. We got to go back to this. Why did little people get thrown into this?
like children.
Oh, okay. Way to clean that one up.
People call children little people. If you have any children.
I have never called a child little people. I don't know who you deal with.
People, would you please write into the show, call us, text us, and let us know if you've ever heard children referred to as little people. I guarantee you they're splitting your head.
No, don't take others down with you on this one, okay? Let them be.
With that said, maybe you don't have any little people, but you yourself like a good cheap movie, whatever the case may be. Check out Regal Cinemas. I think it's awesome that they're offering this for $1 when the summer gets really hot or you have a rainy day and you're looking for something to do. So check them out. We'll be in Chicago in the suburbs and enjoy it.
Would you actually go to? I would go to one of those, for a good movie for $1. That's super
Heck
cheap. That's a
yeah.
great deal.
Absolutely.
Especially at the summer. Have you ever done like movies at the park or something like that where you can actually watch a movie outside? They do it all over the city.
Yes, I love that in the city. And actually, when we're in Florida, they do that like when I just got back from Florida, like by the pool. So the kids love that because they can swim. And actually, our local pool does that too, like at the Park District. They'll put up like a big screen and the kids can swim in the pool and watch the movie. Lots of fun.
Lastly, in Chicago news, we got to give it up for Jake Arrieta coming back to Wrigley Field. Obviously, he plays for the Philadelphia Phillies now. For those that don't know, Jake Arrieta is probably one of the most instrumental figures in our recent Chicago Cubs run, winning the World Series with John Lester, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo. I would say Arrieta was probably the fourth person who was just the cornerstone of what they had going on there. So he's actually returning when they play the Philadelphia Phillies. So I think that's going to be a crazy environment. I think he's actually going to be starting and pitching for one of those games too as well. And I know we have a new pitcher, Yu Darvish, we had signed recently. He's doing well. He's doing okay, I would say, for right now. I think just him and the element of having him as opposed to Arrieta is something that's just completely different for this team that the Chicago Cubs are going to have to overcome. But I think it's going to be a great time, a big weekend with him being in the city, and it's just a great nostalgia fact. So I was going to ask you, I'm assuming you know who Jake Arrieta is, correct?
Yes, Hun, I do know who he is.
You're not the biggest baseball fan, so sometimes you got to ask what you know.
Yeah, no, I am definitely not the biggest baseball fan, but I am a sports fan. So I think I know more about baseball than a person who just doesn't care. It's just not my favorite sport to follow. So anything that is like headlines, I know. I do know who he is. I do know he was coming back. I know he's not pitching in this series.
He's not?
No, he is not. Oh, you didn't know that?
Oh, I totally got that. I assumed he was.
Oh, no, see, I thought a baseball fan like you would have known that.
No, I don't know everything. I miss little details like that from time to time.
well, an unbaseball fan like me knows. No, he's not going to be pitching. And in fact, I want to say it was John Lester, but don't quote me on that. One of the people some of the Cubs were taking jabs at him for not pitching on his return back, but they did say he would be honored and pay tribute to. So that's awesome. I know he left here and was very well loved and still is, even though he's a traitor. So yes, that's good to have him back, but he is not going to be pitching on this trip. I think it's just 3 games, so he won't be pitching.
Class A organization, doing that for him. They definitely didn't have to, but obviously realized the impact that he had in the city. So shouts out Chicago Cubs. Shouts out Jake Arrieta, and hopefully it's a good weekend in Chicago.
That's right. Actually, I remember, we're going to move on, but I remember we actually talked about his new deal. I know who he is. We talked about his new deal when I was first on the show.
There you go.
Signed, and we had talked about the huge $75 million, whatever it was, that deal that he got. So anyway, we can go back to that episode.
So we got to actually, we haven't talked a lot of politics lately because it's been just crazy. So I feel like briefly we should touch on a little politics before we get to some quick hits. You want to do that?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So this one, I did look up this story. This is in regards to Medicare, and I feel like we probably should touch on this because, man, it's gaining some legs, and it's gaining legs quickly to become insolvent. So I did see this article. It said that Medicare is on plans to become insolvent by 2026, which is 3 years earlier than expected. And then also that Social Security is going to be going insolvent just as soon as I think it was 2034, which is the initial plans that they have for it as well. So basically what's going on is this is just a reminder of a lot of issues that we're having in Washington, and it plunges deeper into partisan strife and things like that. A lot of our finances just go to show that they're just not in order. So basically what's going to happen is, if this is going to happen, if they're planning to have Medicare essentially just go away, Congress is going to force the Trump administration to have a plan around it to address the problems and see what they're going to do after. Because the biggest thing is you can't just take Medicare away and then all the people that have it, now they don't. I think it's just going to create a bigger issue. The question will be, will the Trump administration have a plan to go around and what they're going to do instead of Medicare? When honestly, I really don't think they have some sort of plan right now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. And it's something that we've known has been a problem, Social Security specifically, but Medicare as well. It's been in trouble for years, many, many years. And part of it has to do with birth rates and the age of those people, the people identified as the baby boomers, they're becoming in age. This huge population boom now are the ones drawing Social Security as they're retiring.
Right.
They're pulling from this pot, and the population growth has steadily gone down over the years. In fact, obviously these people are not working yet. They're still babies, but the birth rate in 2013 or 2017 was the lowest that it's been in 30 years. So again, that's not dealing with Social Security because babies born in 2017 are not working. But the point is, less people are working and paying into it. More people are drawing from it. Any logical person knows that that's going to leave us with a deficit, and this is going to happen. Something else I don't think a lot of people realize. So they need to make changes. Basically, you cannot do away with it. There are people currently on it who need it. There are people who have been paying into it all of their working life, ready to retire, have not had that own money. See, if we didn't tell our population that they weren't smart enough to manage their own retirement, they could have used that money that they've been putting into Medicare and Social Security and saved it on their own. But instead, we've taken it from them, told them, don't worry, we'll hold this for you and give it to you when you need it. And now we're not going to give it to them. A lot of people don't realize this. As an employee, you pay 6.2% of your salary into Social Security.
Yep.
Your employer matches that at 6.2%. People who are self-employed pay both halves of that. But here's where the problem comes in, and here's a really easy solution if you're asking me. When you pay into that at your 6.2%, that's your taxes subject to your wage that caps out at $128,400. So anything you make above $128,400 doesn't get Social Security taxed. So people making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $1 million a year, anything above that cap does not get Social Security taxed.
That's a smart thing to do. Is that what you're proposing to have happen?
To raise that cap, absolutely.
I think that's
to
a great
raise
idea.
that cap, and now if you have another 12% of, and still have a cap if you choose, find that sliding scale that makes sense, and maybe say up to 300,000, up to 400,000, whatever it may be. Raise that amount. That extra 12.4% of those hundreds of thousands of dollars for the people who are in that population can easily solve this. And in my opinion, I am not a big proponent of tax the rich as much as you can because of the poor. I don't believe in that. However, in my opinion, to do that, to raise that cap on wages is much more fair because you've never promised people that the cap on Social Security would be at this $128,000 mark. That's much more fair than taking away a benefit that you promised people would be there that they've paid into. So I know that there's a way to solve it. The problem is people in Congress don't want to do that because a lot of the people voting for them make more than $128,000 a year. And so they don't want to pay an extra 6% in Social Security taxes.
Man, where the hell did you find that idea from? That was a well thought out idea.
Well, I found it in my own brain.
You didn't make that up. Where'd you get that from? What website was that? I'm going to find it because that was a great idea.
Well, thank you. No, the idea wasn't on there. I got those figures from Forbes, the tax amount and the cap to wages. But I said,
okay.
oh, here. See,
okay.
you like my research, don't you?
I thought it was a great reason. So it actually sounds on point.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so enough of that, right? Can we move on?
What's next? Actually, no, I do have one more before we get off of this.
Okay.
In regards to that, I did want to mention this briefly. We do rag on Donald Trump so much, and for good reason, but he actually did something of good. And for once, it was in regards to Kim Kardashian, which is even weirder itself. But it was announced today that he grants clemency to Alice Johnson after the Kim Kardashian meeting. When she went to the White House last week to mentioned that she wanted to have Alice Johnson pardoned, for a story. You can research it. He did grant that today. So for all we do slam him for, he actually finally did some good. But this leads me to believe that maybe we can get somewhere with him if more celebrities met with him. Since he's a celebrity in chief, he knows that lingo. He is a celebrity. He does know reality shows. Maybe they can get more to him than all of these congressmen because he really doesn't speak that language. What do you think about that?
I disagree. I mean, he has an angle for everything. So there's no doubt in my mind this was a PR move. It doesn't, hurt him to go ahead and use his executive power to pardon one person who he thinks might help him with some people. So no, maybe it was a favor to Kanye. I don't know. But I certainly don't think that Kim Kardashian convinced him to do anything.
Well, I won't say it was her specifically, but I think the story benefits all parties involved. So yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm just
otherwise,
saying.
of
Yeah, I
course
think it
not
was the right
specifically.
thing for him to do. I just think that he made that decision on his own. I don't think anybody convinced him.
Right. Sounds good. Enough
Okay,
of that.
enough of that. Quick hits.
Sources say, and this is a good one, and it actually came out today, and I feel like a lot of people think that this one doesn't have legs for any specific reason, but sources say that LeBron James to the LA Lakers this summer is essentially a done deal. Are you buying that or what, B?
Um, I'm not buying it simply because I feel like LeBron would not let that out right now. I feel like he would do a better job of keeping that private, but I don't know. And in terms of if he would actually go there, I also don't know. So I don't know. I know you
Great
like when
help.
I know
Great,
I
great,
know you
great
like when
thought.
I say that. No, I'm being honest though. Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think that LeBron would let that information out right now when he's trying to win a final series. He's too focused for that. He's too competitive. So I don't think it's like he's already checked out of Cleveland. I mean, to an extent, but I don't think he would already be moving on, in my opinion.
LeBron James PR team are geniuses. They always plant things at the right time. Cleveland's right now down 2-0 to Golden State. Game 3 is tonight. So by the time you guys hear this in the morning, the game will have been played. But they're down 2-0, playing tonight, and all of a sudden this story comes out. Where there's smoke, there's fire, but I can see a little bit of LeBron James' team talking from afar to the Cleveland Cavaliers players and organizations saying, hey, this guy's out of here in 2 more games. So if you guys don't win a championship, the run's over. So I think the timing is impeccable. That's things that LeBron James does all the time. But can he go to the Lakers? Absolutely. I could totally see him going there. That's the only team I see him going to unless he stays in Cleveland. He's not going to Houston. He's not going back to Miami, and he's not going to Philadelphia. That's the only team I'll say is LA, but obviously the jury's still out.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll know soon enough, right?
Tonight, who do you got tonight?
The Warriors.
Of course, and that leads me to the next question, which I already know your answer. Do the Cavs have any type of a chance left in this series?
Of course, they have a chance, but I don't think they will win. No.
They'll definitely win tonight because the NBA does not want to sweep. I definitely think Cleveland will definitely get at least one more game, and my prediction still stands: Cleveland in 7.
All right. Well, we'll see. Okay. Apple is adding a group FaceTime. It's going to allow you, Bihan, to talk to up to 31 people at once. Are you excited?
So basically, this is taking like group chat to group FaceTime. So now what you can do, and I know why they're doing this. This totally appeals to the kids. All the kids are on FaceTime nowadays. They're on
All those
Stitcher.
crazy kids.
They're always watching each other all the time now. So I think it's a way to maybe bring back communication, which there is a communication barrier since everyone's texting on their phone. So maybe everyone can look at each other on FaceTime instead. So if that's the case and they're not on their phones because they can maybe talk a little bit more and bring the element of communication back, then I'm all for it. But then two, my question is, why the hell do you ever need 31 people on a FaceTime at once?
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. Although I guess they had to have a limit at something, and so why they picked 31, I don't
Yeah,
know.
why didn't they stop at like 34? Like, why did it have to be
Yeah,
31 people?
I
They were like,
don't
oh,
I don't
nope,
know.
32 people, that's too much.
Too many. That's one too many. Yeah, I don't know where they would all fit on your little screen, where you'd see all their faces, because maybe now you have to get the plus or whatever's the really big one.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be like
don't know.
31 little faces on the screen.
Right. I don't want 31, but I think it's cool that you can do a couple. So that'll be a cool addition. I'm sure, Apple's always trying to stay ahead and bring out new things that get people talking, and people certainly are talking about this. So it worked in that sense. And I think the group FaceTime is cool. 31 seems excessive, but I'm sure somewhere they talked to somebody who said that this was a need, whether it's a business need, if it's a situation where, maybe you have a conference call and you have 20 people on your conference call and you'd rather be able to see them, that sort of thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't. It's called Skype. It's called Google Hangout. There's other ways to do it where you don't need FaceTime, but hey, do whatever floats your boat.
That's right. Okay. I'll do this one because I was supposed to. Basketball Ireland teams. Oh, Basketball Ireland teams up with the NBA for the first junior NBA in Ireland. Does this mean anything to you?
Not really, because I'm just curious of why they would pick Ireland. Like, I don't think of when you think of basketball, you don't think of Ireland. So I can
Yeah.
see like why they may think, hey, they want to pick up basketball in that area. But at the end of the day, I don't think I don't know if there's any NBA players from Ireland. I'm probably totally wrong, so don't fact check me because I'm saying I'm probably not right. But I don't think NBA and Ireland mixes at all, so I'm going to say it won't help much.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make a generalization, and I don't mean this rudely. I don't think Irish people are that tall. So I also no, right? I mean, think about it. I don't think they have a lot of tall people. I don't know. Um, little people. So I'm not
You
sure.
and those little people,
I
man.
know. I just had to say that because I knew you would get mad again. But yeah, no, it does seem like a weird partnership to me. But maybe it has less to do about kind of like growing players and maybe about building interest in the
Growing
NBA.
players. All right, you're going to get in trouble today, B.
Who am I going to get in trouble with?
Growing players
Well,
now.
developing players maybe has less to do with developing players and more to do with growing interest in the league. I'm not sure.
Let's move Benedict Cumberbatch. Let's move on to this one. This is getting better.
I
Man,
sent this one to you.
our
I was
quick
so
hits
excited.
are getting. It must have been a slow news week, man. Benedict Cumberbatch, and we've talked about him recently on the episode. He fights off gang members of 4 muggers of a Deliveroo driver in London. Are you
Okay,
impressed with
so
this?
yeah, of course I'm impressed. He's like a real life Superman. We had to talk about this because just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Mr. Cumberbatch and his fight for equal pay for women in Hollywood. And so he's fighting the good fight for women. And now here he is fighting off muggers in London. I mean, he does it all. It was a hilarious headline, but just kind of funny. And he's kind of like a superhero. So way to go, Benny.
Hey, Benedict Cumberbatch is like the modern day Jackie Chan, like just going out fighting crime in
He
London.
does.
Like,
That's
imagine if
right.
you were a mugger and you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, and you turn around and Benedict Cumberbatch is staring you right in the face. Like, I think I would probably run too. It sounded like the muggers ran. I would run too.
You would run to. Okay, well,
Absolutely. What a great story, though.
I hope we have more Benedict Cumberbatch headlines for the rest of our lives. Kyler Murray of Oklahoma was selected number 9 overall by the Oakland A's in the recent MLB draft. Should he quit college football immediately and just play baseball?
Absolutely. He should never pick up a football ever again. He should never return to Oklahoma's campus. He shouldn't even go back into the locker room to clean out his locker. The second that Oklahoma, when they saw that he was drafted 9th to the overall to the Oakland A's, his own player should have texted him and say, take the money and run, because baseball, there's more longevity. You can make way, way more money. And you know what? You'll probably stay safe. With everything is going on with injuries, concussions, being a quarterback, you take a lot of hits. Why would you take that chance where you can just go make millions, never get touched, and play baseball? You have a nice, long life with way less injuries. Jeff Samardzija, he used to play football, and then he just stuck with baseball. He's made way more money than he can ever imagine, and he's way healthier. Kyler Murray, I know you're a great football player. You'll probably be the quarterback this year for Oklahoma, but please never play football ever again.
I think it depends on what he's passionate about, and I don't know enough about his baseball skills. Like, if he would be likely a really successful baseball player, absolutely, I agree with you. But you never know where somebody's heart is in, and so I do know that the coach had put out a statement, the coach of Oklahoma, saying they couldn't wait to have him back, which wasn't a confirmation or a denial that he was leaving or not, but it was weirdly suspicious. So he was making it sound like he'd be back at Oklahoma. But again, that might have just been him saying that. So it will be interesting. That's a really big decision for a kid to make, but I mean, a really awesome one.
When you're the number 9 overall pick in Major League Baseball, that means they have plans to definitely take you to the major leagues almost as possibly as soon as the very next season. Like, first round picks are goal to make it. You make a lot of money. So when you know you're that high, they want you to be in the Major League Baseball. Don't ever play football ever again. And I'll say that to you blue in the face. He has no need. Like, he hasn't made. Go play baseball, sir.
Okay, Kyler, if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, make sure you take Behan's advice.
Instagram is considering allowing up to 1-hour videos now. What the hell is going
on? That's weird to me.
I get sick of videos that are 15 seconds.
Well, I'd like a little longer than 15 seconds, honestly. Sometimes I'm trying to do like our Instagram stories for the podcast, and I got a lot to say. So I'd like 30 seconds, maybe. An hour seems crazy. But if you're following someone who's posting hour-long videos and you don't want to see them, just unfollow them. So no big deal. But it does seem weird to me. There has to be an angle there. Again, there has to be somebody who wanted this or needed this. We will soon find out. I saw some speculation that there might be some like Instagram models who want some premium Instagram accounts and make some money. So you never know. But that sounds pretty legit to me.
That's what I was thinking. It's a reason for the Instagram models to start damn near doing essentially softcore porn on Instagram now because they can have up to an hour video. They can do so much within an hour. Like they're probably so hype about this. But I do have a resolution for Instagram and where you can do 1 hour videos. It's called YouTube, and that's what YouTube's for. So why are they bringing this to Instagram? I feel like all these companies they always find a way to take it one step too far, like Snapchat did. This could be the straw that break Instagram's back. No 1 hour videos, please.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what it is. You say go to YouTube, but that doesn't help Instagram. So that's exactly what they're all trying to be, your one-stop shop and do it all. So dumb. They could have been our clown of the week, but they're not.
Slow news week, man, because those are some pretty weak, quick hits. But hey, we got through it, though, as best as possible.
That's right.
We were definitely reaching for topics this week. Hopefully more happens this next week, right?
But the good news is we had plenty of clowns to choose from.
Oh, we did. And I got to hear yours first because this one's hot off the press. So let's get into clown of the week.
Okay, my clown of the week is none other than IHOP. As many of you know, IHOP has been around for 60 years and have had the name, they've used the name IHOP since 1973. IHOP stands for International House of Pancakes. They came out today saying they're thinking of changing its name to IHOB, I-H-O little b. No one knows why. Does the B stand for breakfast or what? I would imagine breakfast. Who knows? Obviously, I think a publicity stunt for IHOP to get people talking about IHOP, and that's fine. But if they, in fact, are changing their name and they really follow through with this, they are my clown of the week because no one even called you by your full name or realized that the P stood for pancakes. So to change your name seems ridiculous. So I'm making you my clown either way. Either you're changing your name and it makes no sense, or you're doing it as a publicity move and it's a really weak one. So you're my clown of the week.
Yeah, that's trash. Like it's always, I don't care. It's always going to be IHOP to me. I'm never going to call it IHOP. Like that just doesn't even flow off the tongue right.
No.
You ready for mine or what? This one's crazy.
Been ready for yours.
Almost wasn't going to do it, but I was like, man, I think a lot of times some people deserve the credit for being stupid. So there's an Instagram model called Shamartres, like Shamartess. You, my friend, have to get the clown of the week. So what she decided to do is she tried to, date Future, go out on a trip. I think it was Miami or whatnot. And it didn't really work out, for various reasons. So she's getting the clown of the week for A, who cares if it didn't work out? B, for probably trying to put Future on blast for it not working out. So go online, search her name. I got to read some of this story because it is absolutely crazy, and Future did absolutely nothing wrong. So I'm going to read some of this. So she said, now that I'm settled into my room, I had to book. I can go and tell you. I had to read this a lot of times first because I didn't really understand what the hell she was saying. So she said, I gonna go and tell y'all. So I have been talking to Future since March. I chilled with him in Miami, went to the studio with him and whatever, and he was so cool and nice. So like 3 days ago, he told me he wanted to see me, so I told him book a flight. He told me to book it, and he would give me my money back, which was 1,000% of what I paid for my flight. So let's take a pause for a second because maybe Future didn't really mean he was going to pay her 1,000% of the flight, which the flight was $550. So she thought that was going to get flipped to $5,500. Maybe what Future really said was, I'll pay you back 1,000%. So you know how when people say, I'll pay you back 100%, like it's for sure I'm going to pay you. Maybe he said 1,000% to really think he was going to pay her the $550 back. So that's mistake number one.
Or maybe he said, maybe he meant to say 100 and he made a typo.
Exactly. Okay. So booked the room, had a key left for his off at the front desk. He got settled in, and then he called her on FaceTime saying I was supposed to be waiting for him in the room with lingerie. For one, she said lingerie wasn't on her mind when she was packing. She was more of a studio kind of person. Like, no, you're not going to be in the studio with Future. Future is a celebrity. He's seen you in the studio a couple times. He wants to hang out with you. So yada, yada, yada. The story goes on. Essentially, Future backs out of it because she thought one way, he thought another. He was only going to have her there for a night. So when she left the room to get something to eat, came back, the room and the key was locked. It didn't work. And they said they only had the room booked for Saturday. Poor girl. Like, she needs to understand when you're dealing with a celebrity or dealing with the person in the future status. I can see your side, but no. Future doesn't really have time for that. He's not a regular person. And I think you went wrong with assuming the worst thing. You went wrong by not setting this up front before you even paid the flight and went there like an idiot. And two, if that was your issue, what you wanted to, you should have talked to Future about that. And three, if it didn't work, so what? Move on. Putting him on blast does nothing. There were so many girls in the comments saying that Future, she will still hook up. All these girls said they would hook up with Future. Even if not, like, if that was them, they would be waiting in lingerie. So it does nothing. So for that, I'm sorry, but you got to get the clown of the week.
She's a clown of the week. Girls have to stop thinking that they need to put everything on the internet.
I feel like why do all these women think that everything needs to go on the internet? It just doesn't make sense.
It's attention. It's a mental illness, and I shouldn't say mental illness. I'm not making light of mental. There's something wrong with them, and they are attention seeking. So
they just like to feel accepted by other people on social media to like agree with them. Because everyone's a sheep, I think it is.
Yeah, well, and I don't even think necessarily they want to feel accepted. I think there's just as many who feed off of the negativity. So, because you see this all the time. They post ridiculous things that they know people are going to fight with or argue with, and they love it. So, I mean, go ahead, feed that, whatever. She's a con. Isn't
it crazy that we're about to be almost at 50 episodes and 2 more? That's nuts.
We are so excited to celebrate 50 episodes. I can't believe it. It's going to be really fun. We actually have a guest coming up for our 50th episode. So that is a fun one. We will keep your toes waiting to find out who that is. But we're super excited to have a guest for our big 50th episode. We couldn't do it without all of our amazing listeners, all of our support system and the platforms that host us. We are hosted on 24/7 Live Culture. We are hosted on Wild Dogs Radio. Our show is aired on Wild Dogs Radio every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. So shout out to all those places who host us, who support us. We couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, so we got that coming. We have a guest coming, episode 50. Our website should be done shortly, so that'll be out. We're definitely working on more T-shirts to be able to start selling those. We have a new theme song for the show that's going to be airing any week now, so that'll be coming soon. So we got a lot coming up for the show, and it's going to be an amazing summer. We have a lot of events coming up too. So we'll actually be at Puerto Rican Fest, not this weekend, but next weekend. And then a reminder that I'll also be at Spring Awakening. So if you see me out and about, make sure you come say hello. And I'm just excited for everything we got going on.
Lots of good stuff. So we're keeping busy, and we're going to keep the shows coming.
We're going to get the help out of here. I got a lot to do, and going to go watch Game 3. So go LeBron James, and hopefully they win.
Okay, we'll talk tomorrow.
So this is Behind with B Chan, Alternative Fact Chicago. This is episode 48, and we'll be back next week with a full recap of Spring Awakening. But you guys have a good one.
Bye-bye.